Yes, very good afternoon to all of you. Today, I want to discuss water, a precious resource. So, can you tell me what is water cycle? Cyclic,
Yes,
fl-
sir.
Yes,
cyclic flow
sir.
of water through evaporation, condensation, precipitation, surface runoff.
Precipitation.
That is water cycle. So you first of all you try to know on which day we are going to celebrate the world water day, that is 22 March. Every year
22 March.
we are going to
22
celebrate
March.
the world water day. Okay, so all of you know why have high solubility. We can say why water is universal solvent, because it have high dielectric constant. What are different state of water? Water have three state. One is solid state, that
Yes,
is
solid
Solid
liquid and
ice.
liquid
gas.
gas.
Second is uh, uh, liquid state, that is water itself. And third is gaseous state, that is water vapor. If you compare the same amount of water and ice, then ice have high volume, because that ice have more number of hydrogen bonding. That is, total number of hydrogen bonding is 4 for a single molecule of water. But if you compare with the liquid water, it has 3.4 hydrogen bond only. That's why it has less volume. Okay, next, you know what is infiltration. What is infiltration? In case of water cycle, if you observe the
When the
water
water
cycle,
goes into the
yes, so downward movement of water during rainfall and after rainfall, that is known as infiltration. What are the reason
infiltration.
for depletion of water tables inside the earth? First is
Sir,
overpopulation.
increase population,
Second is industrialization. Third is more
agricultural
usage
activity.
of agricultural purposes. The more usage of water for agricultural purposes. Okay, so that is the main reason. And fourth is, you can say, urbanization. Is if there is more population, more utility of water, underground water, and then automatically water level will go down. And next we can say, if there will be a drought condition. You know what is drought? Least precipitation. Precipitation include all the aspect like rainfall, snowfall, hailfall. If there is no rainfall, least precipitation, it create a condition of drought. If there is high precipitation, it create a flood. So why we feel waterlogging or flood situation? Due to less infiltration of water toward the ground, because nowadays we are going to cementing the ground, concreting the ground. That's why water is not going to enter inside the earth, and that's why water logging start in your city, in your village. Okay, so that is the main reason for flooding or water logging. If they know proper supply of water, if they know proper distribution of water or path of water in your cities, then there may be chance of water logging. Okay, so all of you know what is difference between evaporation and transpiration. So if you see in the diagram,
Yes,
indicated as fifth, that place it is used as, it is going to indicate as evaporation. Transpiration means loss of water in the form of water vapors from the leaf surface, that is known as transpiration. But if you see the water body surface, due to excess sun heat, water turn into water vapors. Okay, so that process is known as evaporation. When that water vapor will reach at the great height, there is a low temperature, and then very fine water vapor form condense and make a tiny droplets, and that tiny droplets again become bigger size and make a cloud, and then that tiny droplet become heavier. It will create a precipitation. Rainfall form, you can understand cloud formation in level number 4, and then there is a precipitation, that is rainfall. In case of, it is indicated as level number 7. So that is precipitation. Precipitation may be different form. First is rainfall, means liquid form, falling of water from the cloud, and then snowfall form, or hail, HAIL, hail form, that is solid crystal form falling of that form from the cloud. So that can create a devastation for the agricultural crops, for the horticultural crops, and for the vegetables. So that is very important. Okay, so it can damage your crops, but rainfall is very useful. Okay, after rainfall there is a seepage, there is a surface runoff. If there will be more surface runoff, means flow of water on the ground surface, and less infiltration, then water table will go down in the deeper layer of the earth. But if there is more vegetation, no concrete surface on the ground, then it will prefer and promote the infiltration and water level go up. So that is known as recharging of the ground. Recharging of the groundwater. Okay, that is recharging of the ground, means supply of water that is coming from the rainfall. Okay, next you can know the conservation of water. How can you conserve water? There are different methods. How can you conserve water? There are different methods. Means first is rooftop conservation. Rooftop conservation. Okay, and then you can also observe a Bory system. You can also observe the Bory system, and you can also conserve the water through applying the different method of irrigation. Especially in rooftop water conservation, we collect the water, rainfall water falling on your roof. You collect through the pipe in the main tank. You have to create at the ground level. Okay, inside the ground, and then you can collect the water of the rainwater. Next is Bory system. Bory system, such practice is going on in your village area, where in the farm field, one side we create a small pond where all the rainfall water will collect, that can be used for future use, either for domestic purpose or agricultural purpose, or for farming purpose, or for animal farming purpose. You can also drink that rainwater after sedimentation, after decantation, followed by boiling. You can do the process of filtration, then you can able to drink that water. Okay, so you must try to know what are the other form of conservation of water, that is drip irrigation. You know, drip irrigation, it was first of all started in where Israel. Okay, so in case of drip irrigation, there are different network of the pipe, smaller size pipe, and you connect that smaller size network of pipe with the main water tank. Okay, so at the end of the pipe you can observe a small nozzle. This nozzle will release the water at very low pressure at the root region of the different growing plants, different growing crop plants, and it will facilitate the more amount of water for a longer period of time. Means if your field soil is sandy, means if there is excess amount of sand in your field soil, and if you are growing the crops, in that situation you have to adopt the drip irrigation for more utility of water. You can grow the plant in minimum use of water, because water will supply each and every plant root region slowly and slowly for a longer period of time. Okay, next is a sprinkler irrigation. It is also a method of water conservation. Such type of practice you can adopt in an area where there is a uneven surface. Okay, means mountain area. That is, if your field surface is not even, especially in mountain area, if you are growing the horticultural crop, if you are growing the vegetable crops, in that situation you spray the liquid form of water on from the above, from through the air, through the special type of nozzles that will sprinkle through the sprinkler. Okay, so it will release the water and you can spray the water on the crop plants. Slowly and slowly water will go to the root region of every type of crops we are growing in undulated field, means uneven field surface. So with minimum use of water we can irrigate or watering the plants in case of horticultural crops, in case of vegetable crops, in case of any crops. So this is the methods for conservation of water. Okay, so why we study the water cycle. Why we study the water cycle? Because water cycle balance the water for each and every plants, each and every living organism on the earth. You know, in case of water cycle, if it will not occur properly on the times, what happens? You will not get the water if you are living at the mountain, and if the plant is growing on the mountain, plant will not able to get the water. So that the nature have provided a water through the water cycle, through the process of evaporation, condensation, cloud formation, precipitation, and surface runoff. So it is going to balance the water availability to each and every living organism on the earth, whether it is the plants, whether it is animals, whether it is the microbes, insect, any type of living organism get sufficient amount of water due to water cycle. So you try to understand the different step of water cycle. What is the first step? That is evaporation. Evaporation occur only on the water body surface. So you know what is water body? Water bodies are pond, pond, lake, or sea. On the surface of that water body, water will evaporate due to excess sun heat, and it will go inside the atmosphere. And when it will attain the greater height, it will condense and make a droplets, and then it make a cloud. And when it become heavier, it make a rainfalls, means precipitation. It may be different form. You know, I have already discussed the rainfalls, snowfalls, hailfalls. So transpiration also favor the making of the water vapors, and transpiration maintain the temperature of plants. So excess amount of water if present in the plants, it is going to released inside the atmosphere to maintain the body temperature of that plants and for the survival of plants. If there will be no transpiration, water will not enter inside the plants. So there is a principle, transpiration pull and cohesion tension. If there is a transpiration, it will favor the uptake of the water through the root of the plants. Okay. After rainfall, whatever the water is falling, it will move on the surface of the ground. That process is known as surface runoff. And at the beginning of the rainfalls, infiltration will start, means downward movement of water will be start. So try to differentiate word infiltration and surface runoff. Okay, and seepage. So surface runoff means water, rainwater moving on the ground surface, above the ground surface during rainfalls and after rainfalls. But infiltration will you can explain as downward movement of water toward the ground. But seepage is a lateral movement of water inside the ground. Parallel movement of water means inside the ground only water will move parallelly inside the ground. That is seepage, lateral movement of water. So try to differentiate the word infiltration, surface runoff, and then seepage. So these are the cyclic movements. Water cycle is cyclic movement of the process of evaporation, condensation, cloud formation, precipitation, then surface runoff, infiltration. So these are the different terminology you have to remember in water cycle. Okay. So thank you and have a nice day.